Over the course of the workshop, we are diving deep into a major fundamental pillars. An introduction to cybersecurity core concept, network security analyze using a Wireshark, incidents response and recovery, understanding password cracking and defense technique. We are confident that today's session will full feather evaluate your ethical skills and gives you a sharper perspective on real world cyber challenge. Without further ado, let's us kick off day three with high energy and confidence. It is a absolute privilege to introduce our expert speaker for this morning, Mr. Jignesh Prajapati, who is be leading an incredible virtual session titled Incidents Response and Recovery from 10 a.m. to 11:15 a.m. About our speaker, Dr. Jignesh Prajapati is a dedicated cybersecurity professional with a profound passion for ethical hacking, defense, machines, and digital risk management. He brings the table over 10 years to robust industry experience in the cyber domain. He is deeply committed to driving cyber awareness and empowering, including with the practical skills needed to navigate the digital foreign safety through through his executive hands-on experts actively champions best participates in cyber hygiene and information security. Sir Jignesh Prajapati, let's continue the lecture.
Good morning, everyone. First of all, thank you all for joining today's cybersecurity workshop. My name is Jignesh Prajapati, and today I am going to explain one of the most important topic in cybersecurity: incident response and recovery. Nowadays, almost every organization depends on computers, mobile devices, cloud services, and the internet for their daily work. Because of these cyber attacks are increasing every single day. Hackers are no longer targeting only large companies. Today, small businesses, colleges, hospitals, banks, and even individual users are becoming victims of cyber attacks. Many people think that cybersecurity means stopping hackers before they attack, but in reality, no organization in the world can guarantee that it will never be attacked. Even companies like Microsoft, Google, Sony, Uber, and Hospital with strong security have experienced cyber incidents. So the real question is not can we stop every cyber attack? The real question is what would we do immediately after an attack happens? This is where incident response becomes important. Response is a structured process that helps an organization quickly detect a cyber attack, contain the damage, remove the threat, recover system safety, and learn from the incident to prevent it from happening again. Recovery is the final stage where the organization restores normal operations, verifies that systems are secure and improves its security based on lesson learned. Throughout today's session, I will explain each phase of incident response using simple language, real world example, and actual cyber attack case studies so that you can easily understand how cybersecurity teams handle incidents in real organization. Now let's begin our journey with incident response and recovery. Real life example for let us understand this with a simple. Imagine you are working in a company. One morning, an employee receive an email that look exactly like it came from the HR department. The email says your salary slip is ready. Please log in using the link below. The employee trusts the email and enters their username and password. Within a few minutes, the attacker logs into the employee's company account using those stolen credentials. The attackers start downloading confidential company files and send phishing emails to other employees. Now the company has a serious cyber incident. At this stage, the security team cannot waste time blaming the employee. Instead, they immediately detect the attack, block the compromised account, investigate what happened, remove the attacker's access, restore affected system, and improve security controls. This complete process is called incident response and recovery. Now, before we move into the technical part of this workshop, let me give you a quick overview of today's agenda. Today's session is designed in a step-by-step manner so that by the end of this workshop, you will understand how an organization handles a cyber incident from the beginning until the system are fully recovered. First, we will start with introduction and threat overview. In this section, I will explain what a cyber incident is, why cyber attacks are increasing rapidly, and what type of threat organizations face today. We will also understand why incident response has become one of the most important part of modern cybersecurity. After that, we will move to incident response framework and preparation. Here we will learn how organizations prepare before an attacker happens. Because in cybersecurity, preparation is always better than reacting after damage has already occurred. We will discuss incident response plans, response teams, roles, and responsibilities, and international framework like NIST. The third section is detection and analysis. This is one of the most critical phases. Here we will understand how security teams detect suspicious activities, identify whether an attack is real, analyze the evidence, and determine how much damage has already been done. We will also learn about monitoring tools, security logs, and digital forensic investigation. Next, we will study containment and remediation. Once an attack has been detected, the first priority is to stop it from spreading. In this section, I will explain how security teams isolate infected systems, remove malware, close security gaps, patch vulnerabilities, and make sure that the attacker can no longer access the organization's environment. Finally, we will discuss recovery and lesson learned. This is the last stage of incident response. Here, organizations safely restore their system, verify that everything is working properly, monitor for any remaining threats, and most importantly, learn how from the incident so that the same mistake does not happen again in the future. So this complete workshop follows the same process that professional cybersecurity teams use in real organization when handling cyber attacks. Now that you know today's roadmap, let's begin with the first topic. Now let's begin with our first topic, introduction and threat overview. Before we understand incident response, we first need to understand what a cyber threat actually is and why organizations are investing so much time and money in cybersecurity. Today, almost every organization depend on technologies. Banks use online banking system, hospitals store patient record digitally, schools and universities manage student information online. Companies store confidential business data on cloud platform. Even our daily activities like shopping, making online payments, using social media, and sending emails depends on the internet. Because everything has become digital, cyber criminal have also become more active. Now let's understand what incident response actually means and why it is one of the most important processes in cybersecurity. Whenever a cyber attack happens, the biggest mistake an organization can make is to panic. In cybersecurity, every minute is important. If the response is slow, the attackers get more time to steal data, spread malware, and or damage critical systems. This is why every organization follows a structured process called incident response. Incident response is a series of planned and coordinated actions that help an organization detect a cyber attack, contain the damage, remove the threat, and safely recover its systems. It is not just one person's responsibility. The security team, IT team, management, legal department, human resources, and sometimes even enforcement work together to handle a cyber incident. Their common goal is to reduce the impact of the attack and restore normal business operations as quickly as possible. The next point on this slide explains why incident response is important for every business. When a company experiences a cyber attack, it does not only lose data, it may also lose customers, business reputation, revenue, and public trust. Sometimes organizations remain offline for several days, causing huge financial losses. A quick and well planned incident response helps reduce downtime, protects sensitive information, and keeps customer confidence intact. Good communication during an incident is also very important because employees, customers, and management need accurate information instead of rumors or panic. Another important point is that cyber threats are increasing faster than even before. Today's attackers are using artificial intelligence, automated hacking tools, phishing emails, ransomware, cloud attacks, and supply chain attacks. Many attacks now take only a few minutes to compromise an organization. This means security teams must detect and respond much faster than before. Finally, incident response is directly connected with recovery. Stopping an attack is not enough. After removing the attacker, the organization must safely restore all systems, recover important data, verify that no malicious activities remains, and improve security controls to prevent the same attack from happening again. Recovery is successfully on only when the organization can continue its normal business operation without risk. One important concept mentioned here is RTO and RPO. These two terms are very important in incident response and disaster recovery. RTO or recovery time objectives means how quickly an organization wants to restore its system after an incident. For example, if a bank decides that its online banking service must be available again within 2 hours, then its RTO is 2 hours. Now let's understand RPO or recovery point objectives. RPO defines how much data loss and organization can accept. Suppose a company takes backups every 30 minutes. If a ransomware attack happens, the maximum amount of data the company may lose is 30 minutes of work. That means the RPO is 30 minutes. Both RTO and RPO help organization create an effective recovery strategy and reduce business impact after a cyber attack. So incident response is not only about stopping hackers, it is about protecting business continuity, reducing financial loss, and recovering safely and becoming stronger and after every incident. Now let's move to the next slide. Now let us understand the current threat landscape. The word threat landscape simply means the correct cybersecurity environment. In other words, it tells us what kind of cyber threats exist today, who is creating these attacks, why they are happening, and how organizations can protect themselves. Cybersecurity is constantly changing. Every day, attackers discover new techniques while security professionals develop new methods to defend against them. It is like a continuous race between attackers and defenders. Let's understand each point one by one. Evolving threat in environment. The first point is evolving threat environment. This means cyber threats are becoming more advanced everywhere. Every year, earlier attackers mostly created simple viruses that damage computers. Today, attacks are much more intelligent. Modern attacks combine multiple techniques in a single attack. For example, they may first send a phishing email. After stealing the employee's password, they log into the company's cloud account. Then they move through the internal network and finally deploy ransomware. This combination of different attack techniques is called a hybrid attack. Sorry. Earlier attackers sometimes took weeks to compromise an organization. Today, some ransomware groups can compromise an organization network within just a few hours. That is why organizations must detect attacks as early as possible. For example, imagine a thief trying to enter your house. Instead of breaking the main door, he first copies your house key. Then he enters quietly while nobody is home. He checks every room, finds valuable items, and only then steals them. Hackers work in a very similar way. Instead of directly attacking a server, they first steal password, gain access quietly, explore the network, and finally launch the actual attack. Common vectors and tactics. Now let's move on to the second point, common vector and tactics. A vector means the path used by attacks to enter. One of the most common attack vectors is phishing. Attackers send fake emails pretending to be banks, delivery companies, HR department, or trusted organization. If someone clicks the malicious link, attackers steal password or install malware. Another common method is credential theft. Instead of hacking the system, attackers simply steal username and passwords. Sometimes they buy leaked passwords from the dark web. Sometimes they trick user into revealing them. Another modern technique is called MFA fatigue. Suppose your mobile continuously receive login approval notification. After rejecting them many times, a user may accidentally approve one notification. The attackers immediately gain access. Another technique mentioned here is leaving off the land. Instead of installing malware, attacks misuse built-in window tool like PowerShell, Command Prompt, or Window Management Install mentioned. Since these are legitimate tools, antivirus software often cannot detect the attack easily. A real example of MFA fatigue happens at Uber in 2022. The attacker obtained an employee's password. However, the account was protected with multi-factor authentication. Instead of giving up, the attacker continuously sent login approval requests to the employee's mobile phone. After receiving many notifications, the employee finally approved the request just to stop the alerts. That single approval gave the attacker access to Uber's internal systems. This incident clearly shows that technology alone is not enough. Human awareness is equally important. Key lesson: never approve an MFA request unless you personally instate the login, threat actors, and motivations. Now let's understand who performs cyber attacks. Not every hacker has the same objectives. Some attackers simply want money. These are called cyber criminals. They usually deploy ransomware, steal banking information, or demand ransom payments. Some attackers Some attackers work for governments. Their objective is instead of stealing money, they steal a confidential information, military secrets, or government documents. Another growing threat comes from the supply chain. Sometimes hackers do not attack a company directly. Instead, they compromise a trusted software vendor or service provider. When customers install that trusted software and update, the malware automatically enters their system. This is called a supply chain attack. Real case study: SolarWinds supply chain attack 2022. One of the biggest example is the SolarWinds attack. Attackers compromised the SolarWinds software update process. Thousands of organizations, including government agencies and large companies, downloaded the infected updated because they trusted the vendor. The attackers gain access to many or organizations without attacking them directly. This attack proved that even trusted software can become an attacker vector. Proactive defense priorities. Now let us discuss the final point, the protective defense. The word protective means taking action before an incident happens. Instead of waiting for hackers, organizations prepare themselves in advance. One important principle is assume breach. This means organizations should never think we are completely safe. Instead, they should assume that attackers may already be inside the network and continuously monitor for suspicious activities. Organizations should also implement strong identify management, multi-factor authentication, network segmentation, list privilege access, regular security monitoring, employee awareness training. Another important point mentioned here is MTTD and MTTR. MTTD means time to detect. Tell us how long it takes to detect an attack. For example, if an organization detects ransomware after 15 minutes, its MTTD is 15 minutes. MTTR means time to respond. Tell us how long it takes to contain and recover after detecting the attack. The smaller this value are, the better the organization security read, lines. Organization also conduct tablet of exercises. These are practice sessions where the security team simulates a cyber attack and test whether everyone know their responsibilities. Just like with firefighters perform emergency drills before an actual fire, cybersecurity teams perform tablet of exercises before a real cyber incident. Imagine a hospital, doctors regularly perform emergency drills even when there is no emergency. Why? Because during a real emergency, nobody has time to read instructions. Exactly this same principle applies in cybersecurity. Organizations prepare, practice, and improve before an actual cyber attack happens. That preparation often determines whether the organization recovers in a few hours or suffers damage for weeks. Now, now that we understand today's cyber threat landscape, let's to look at the most common cyber incidents that organizations face every day. Whenever we hear about a cyber attack in the news, it usually belongs to one of these four categories. These incidents affect businesses, hospitals, banks, schools, government organizations, and even individual users. Let us understand each type one by one. Malware and ransomware. The first incident type is malware and ransomware. Malware is a general term of any malicious software designed to damage, steal, spy, or on or disrupt, disrupt computer systems. Examples include virus, worms, trojans, spyware, and ransomware. Among these, ransomware is one of the most dangerous cyber attacks today. Instead of stealing data immediately, ransomware encrypts all files and locks the victim out of the system. After encryption, the attackers demands money in exchange for the decryption key. If the organization has no clean backup, recovering the data becomes extremely difficult. Ransomware usually enters through phishing emails, weak passwords, vulnerable servers, or outdated software. Real life example, imagine you are working in a company. You receive an email saying invoice attached. Please review immediately. You open the attachment because it looks genuine. With a few minutes, your screen turns black. A message appears saying all your files have been encrypted. Pay Bitcoin within 72 hours. Suddenly, every department in the company loses access to important files. Employees cannot work, customer cannot receive services, the entire business stop. This is exactly how ransomware attacks affect organization. Phishing and social engineering. The second common incident types is the phishing and social engineering. Unlike ransomware, phishing usually target people instead of computers. The attackers pretend to be someone you trust, such as a bank, your company, or an online services. The goal is to convince you to reveal sensitive information like usernames, passwords, OTPs, or banking details. Sometimes the attacker simply wants you to click a malicious link or download an infected attachment. Remember, the attacker is not hacking the computer first. The attacker is manipulating the human mind first. That is why phishing is called social engineering. Real life example, suppose you receive an email that looks like it came from Microsoft. It says your Office 365 account will expire today. Please verify your password immediately. The logo looks real. The email address appear professional. Without checking carefully, you enter your username and password. Within seconds, the attacker logged into your company emails account. The system was never hacked. These employees unknowingly gave the attacker access. Third, insider threats and breaches. The third type is insider threats. Not every cyber attack comes from outside the organization. Sometimes the threat comes from someone who already has authorized access. An insider can be a current employee, a former employee, a contractor, a vendor, or someone whose account has been compromised. Some insiders intentionally steal data, others accidentally expose confidential information because of mistakes. Both situations can seriously damage an organization. Real life example, imagine an employee copies confidential customer data onto a personal USB drive before resigning from the company. Later, that data is shared with another business. No hacker broke into the network. The data was leaked by someone who already had access. This is called an incident threat. Denial of services, DOS. The final common incident type is denial of service, also called DOS or distributed denial of service, DDoS. Unlike ransomware or phishing, the attacker does not try to steal data. Instead, the goal is to make a website or online service unable. This attacker floods the server with a huge number of fake requests. This server becomes overloaded and cannot respond to legitimate users. As a result, customer cannot access the services. In a DDoS attacks, thousands or even millions of infected devices send requests simultaneously, making these attacks much more powerful. Real life example for imagine a supermarket with only 5 billing counters. Normally, customers are served quickly. Now, imagine thousands of fake customers enter the supermarket at the same time and stand in every queue without buying anything. Real customer cannot reach the counters. The supermarket is still open, but normal customer cannot use the services. This is exactly how a DDoS attacks works. Real case study DY and DNS attack 2016. In October 2016, the internet infrastructure company DYN suffered one of the largest DDoS attacks ever recorded. The attacks used the Mirai botnet, which had infected thousands of Internet of Things IoT devices such as cameras and routers. As a result, major websites including Twitter, Netflix, Reddit, Spotify, and GitHub become temporarily unavailable for millions of users. Even if a company's own servers are secure, attacks against critical internet infrastructure can still disrupt service. Organizations should use DDoS protection, traffic filtering, and scalable cloud infrastructure to reduce the impact. Now that we have understood the common types of cyber incident, the next important question is what happened to an organization after a cyber attack? Many people think that cyber attacks only affects computers or servers, but in reality the impact is much bigger. A single cyber incident can affect the company's finances, daily operations, legal responsibilities, customer trust, and even its future growth. Sometimes the damage caused by the attack is greater than the attack itself. Let us understand this business impact one by one. Financial and brand damage. The first impact is financial and brand damage. Whenever a cyber attack happens, the company immediately start losing money. First, the company has to stop normal work to investigate the incident. Cybersecurity expert, forensic investigators, legal advisor, and IT teams all work together to respond to the attacks. They cost both time and money. If customer data is stolen, the company may also have to provide identify protection services or compensate affected customers. Sometimes the company even pays ransom through all through security experts generally advise against paying attackers because there is no guarantee that that the data will be recovered. But financial loss is not the only problem. The company's reputation is also affected. Customers start asking, is my personal information still safe? Some customers stop using the company's services and move to competitors. Investor may lose confidence and business partner may hesitate to continue working with the company. Building customer trust can take years, but losing it can happen in just one cyber attack. For example, imagine you on an online shopping website. Thousands of customers have created accounts and saved their personal information. One day, hackers steal the customer database. The next morning, news channel report that your website has suffered a data breach. Even if you recover the system within 2 days, many customers may never shop from your website again because they no longer trust your security. That is called brand damage. Operational disruption. The second impact is operational disruption. When critical systems become unavailable, normal business activities stop. Employees cannot access emails, customers cannot use websites, banks cannot process transactions, hospitals cannot access patient records. Manufacturing companies may even stop production because machines depend on digital systems. Sometimes during incident response, the security teams intentionally disconnect infected systems from the network. Although this temporarily interrupts business operations, it helps prevent the attack from spreading further. This is why incident response teams must balance security and business continuity. For example, imagine an airport. If the airline's reservation system suddenly stops working because of a ransomware attack, passengers cannot check in boarding, passes cannot be printed, and flights may be delayed or cancelled. The airport building is still open, but operations cannot continue normally because the digital systems are unavailable. Third, legal and regulatory exposure. The third impact is legal and regulatory exposure. Organizations have a legal responsibilities to protect customer information if sensitive personal data is exposed. Many countries require companies to report the breach to regulator within a specific time. The organization may also have to notify affected customers if investigators discover that the company ignored security updates, failed to protect customer data, or did not follow required security standards, it may face heavy penalties or legal actions. Proper evidence collection is also important. If digital evidence is lost or altered during incident response, it becomes difficult to investigate the incident or prove what actually happened. For example, in 2018, British Airways suffered a cyber attack in which attackers stole customer payment information. Regulators investigated the incident under GDPR, Europe's data protection law. The company faced regulatory action and was required to improve its cybersecurity practices. Cybersecurity is not only an IT responsibility, it is also legal and compliance responsibilities, organization must be prepared to meet regulatory obligations after a breach. For long-term trust implications, the final impact is long-term trust. Recovering system is only one part of incident response. The bigger challenge is rebuilding trust. Customers, investors, business partners, and regulators all expect the organization to demonstrate that the same incident will not happen again. If the organization continues to experience repeated cyber attacks, people start believing that its cybersecurity is weak. Strong security governance, regular audits, employees training, and transparent communication helps rebuild confidence over time. Trust is one of the most valuable asset an organization owns. Once it is lost, it takes a long time to earn it back. Now that we have understood the different type of cyber incident and how they can affect an organization, let's move to the next important sections of today's workshop. This section is called Incident Response Framework and Preparation. In the previous section, we discussed what cyber attacks are and how they impact businesses. Now, the next question is how do organizations prepare before a cyber attack actually happens? Many people think that incident response starts only after a cyber attack, but that is not true. Professional organizations start preparing long before any attack occurs because during a real cyber incident, there is no time to decide what to do. Every team member should already know their responsibilities. Every process should already be documented. Every emergency contact should already be available and every backup should already be tested. That is what preparation means. An incident response framework is simply a structured guideline that helps organizations respond to cyber incident in a consistent and organized way. Instead of making random decisions during an emergency, the organization follow a predefined process. This helps reduce confusion, save times, and minimize damage. In this section, we will understand what an incident response framework is, why international standards like NIST are widely used, how organizations create incident response plans, how response teams are formed, and what preparation should already be completed before any cyber attack happens. By the end of this section, you will understand why preparation is considered the strongest defense in cybersecurity. So let's begin by understanding the fundamental of incident responses. Now let us understand the fundamental of incident response. Whenever a cyber incident happens, many people think that the only goal is to remove the malware or stop the hackers. But actually, incident response is much bigger than that. Its purpose is not only to stop the attack but also to protect business operations, secure important data, preserve evidence, and help the organization recover as quickly as possible. A successful incident response process reduces financial loss, protects customer trust, and ensures that the organization can continue its normal operation within minimum disruption. Now let's understand each part of this slide one by one. Purpose and outcomes. The first point is purpose and outcomes. The main purpose of incident response is to reduce the impact of a cyber attack. Suppose a ransomware attack affect only one computer. If the security team respond immediately, they can isolate that computer before the ransomware spread to hundreds of other systems. This saves time, money, and business operations. Another important objective is to protect sensitive information. Organizations store customer records, financial information, employees' details, and confidential business or documents. During an incident, protecting this data becomes the highest priority. The second important purpose is evidence prevention. Whenever a cyber attack happens, security teams collect evidence such as log files, network traffic, memory dumps, and system images. This evidence helps investigators understand how the attack happened, and it may also be required in court or regulatory investigations. If evidence is destroyed or modified, it becomes difficult to identify the attacker or prove what happened. To incident life cycle. Now let's move to the incident life cycle. Incident response is not a single action. It is a complete process consisting of several stages. The first stage is preparation. Here, organizations create incident response plans, prepare backup systems, train employees, and assign responsibilities. The second stage is detection. Security tools such as SIEM, EDR, IDS, and firewalls monitor the environment and detect suspicious activities. The third stage is analysis. Here, investigators confirm whether the alert is a real cyber attack or simply a false alarm. They identify which system are affected, how the attacker entered the what data may have been compromised. The fourth stage is content. Con- the security teams isolates infected system to stop the attack from spreading. The fifth stage is eradication. 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 Here, malware is removed, compromised accounts are disabled, security vulnerabilities are patched, and attackers' access is completely eliminated. Finally comes recovery. Systems are restored from clean backup services are tested and normal business operations resume only after verifying that everything is secure is the incident officially closed. Roles and governance. Now let's understand roles and governance. Incident response is never handled by one person. It requires teamwork. Different departments have different responsibilities. The SOC Security Operations Center continuously monitors security alerts. The incident response team investigates and coordinates the response. The IT operation teams restore system and business services. The legal teams ensure compliance with laws and regulatory requirements. The communications team prepare official statement for customers, partners, or the media if necessary to avoid confusion. Organization define responsibilities before an incident occurs. This is done using a RACI matrix. RACI stands for responsible, accountable, consulted, informed. Responsible, the person who performs the task. Accountable, the person who has final ownership of the task. Consulted, people who provide expert advice. Informed, people who need updates but are not directly involved. This ensures that everyone know exactly what they need to do during an incident. Fourth, continuous improvement. The final point is continuous improvement incident response that does not end after system are restored. The organization must learn from every incident after recovery security teams conduct an after action review. They ask questions such as how did the attack enter, how which security control failed, how quickly was the incident detected, could the response have been faster, what improvement are needed. Organization also monitor important performance metrics such as MTTA, mean time to acknowledgeable acknowledge, how quickly the team recognize and start working on an incident. MTTR mean time to respond or recover. How quickly the organization contains the attack and restore normal operations. The goal is simple. Every incident should make the organization stronger than before. Now let's move to one of the most important standard used in cybersecurity, which is the NIST Incident Response Framework. The full form of NIST is the National Institute of Standards and Technologies. It is a US government organization that develops cybersecurity standards, security guidelines, and best practice. Today's organization around the world, including banks, hospitals, IT companies, governments, agencies, and multinational organizations, use NIST because it provides a structured and reliable way to handle cyber incidents. The biggest advantage of the NIST framework is that it provides a step-by-step process. Instead of making random decisions during a cyber attack, every team follows the same structured process. This reduces confusion, saves valuable time, and helps organizations recover faster. Now let's understand each part of this framework. Why NIST-IR matter? The first point is why NIST incident response matter. Imagine a company with 500 employees. One team start disconnecting servers. Another team start restoring backups. A third team start informing customers. If nobody follows the same plan, confusion increase and the situation becomes worse. The NIST framework solves this problem. It defines exactly what should happen, who should do it, and when it should happen. This improves coordination between the security team, IT teams, management, legal department, and external vendors. It also helps organizations respond faster during high pressure situations. For example, real life example, imagine a hospital during an emergency. Doctors, nurse, ambulance staff, and surgeons all follow predefined emergency procedures. Nobody decides their role at the last time. Because everyone follows the same process, patients receive treatment quickly. The NIST framework is exactly the same way. It gives every cybersecurity team a common process to follow during a cyber incident. Second, for life cycle phases. Now let's understand the core of the NIST framework. The framework is based on four major phases. The first phase is preparation. Before any cyber attack happens, organizations prepare themselves. There they create incident response plans, identify critical asset, maintains backups, train employees, and conduct security drills. Preparation is the most important phase because it determines how well an organization can respond during a real attack. The second phase is detection and analysis. This is where security monitoring tools such as SIEM, EDR, IDS, and firewalls continuously monitor to the environment. When suspicious activity is detected, the security teams investigates the alert. They determine whether it is the real cyber attack or a false alarm. They identify how the attack entered, which system are affected, and how serious the incident is. The third phase is containment, eradication, and recovery. First, the infected system are isolated to stop the attacks from spreading. Next, malware is removed, compromised accounts are disabled, and vulnerabilities are fixed. Finally, systems are restored from clean backups and normal business operation resume. Recovery is considered successfully only after security teams verify that the attacker no longer has access. The fourth and final phase is post-incident activity, also called lesson learned. After recovery, the organization review the incident, the team identify what worked well, what failed, and how security can be improved. Every incident becomes an opportunity to strengthen future defenses. Third, respond and recover. Now let's to look at the respond and recover phase in more details. Responding means taking immediate action after detecting a cyber incident. The organization contains the attack, removes malicious files, blocks compromise accounts, and documents every action. Documentation is extremely important because investigators may later need to understand exactly what happened. Recovery begins only after the environment is confirmed to be secure. Systems are restored because backups are verified, a user regains access, and the organization closely monitors the environment to ensure that the attacker does not return. The goal is not just to restart systems, the goal is to restart them securely. Fourth, fit to best practice. The final point is fit to best practice. One of the biggest strengths of the NIST framework is that it integrates grades with many other security controls. For example, identity and access management ensure only authorized user can access system. Logging records every important activity for investigation. Backups help restore system after ransomware attacks. Vulnerabilities management ensure security weakness are identified and page before attackers exploit them. Change management ensures system updates are carefully planned and documented. Organization also measure important performance metrics. For example, MTTA mean time to acknowledge mean assure how quickly the security team start responding after receiving an alert. MTTR mean time to respond or recover may assure how quickly the organization contains the attack and restore normal operations. If this time becomes shorter over time, it means the organization incident response capabilities is improving. Real life example, imagine an airport. Before every flight, pilots follow a standard checklist. Even experienced pilots never skip it. They check fuel, engines, communication systems, navigation system, and weather condition. The checklist ensures that every flight follows the same safety process. The NIST incident response framework works exactly like that checklist. It provides a standard process so that every cyber incident is handled consistently regardless of who is responding. Now let us understand one of the most important part of incident response, which is incident preparation essentials. Many organizations think that they should prepare only after experience a cyber attack, but in reality, successful organizations prepare long before an incident happens. Preparation helps organizations respond quickly, reduce business damage, and recover much faster. You can think of preparation like an insurance policy. You hope you never need it, but if something goes wrong, it becomes extremely valuable. There are four important elements of preparation shown on this slide. Let's understand each one. Incident response plan. The first and most important requirement is an incident response plan. An incident response plan is simply a written document that explains exactly what should happen during a cyber incident. It answers important questions like what type of incident has occurred, how serious is the incident, who should be informed first, who has the authority to make decision, what actions should the security team takes. Without a proper plan, people often panic. Different teams may take different actions, causing confusion and increasing the damage. A good incident response plan also contains playbooks. A playbook is a step-by-step guide for handling a specific incident. For example, one playbook may explain how to respond to ransomware. Another playbook may explain how to handle phishing attack. Another may explain data leakage incidents. Instead of making decision during an emergency terms, simply follow the predefined playbooks. Two, risk assessment. The second preparation step is risk assessment. Not every system inside an organization has the same importance. For example, the payroll server, customer database, banking system, or hospital patient records are much more critical than a normal office computer. Organizations first identify their most important systems, then they estimate two things: how likely is an attacker, and what will be the business impact if the attack succeeds. This process is called risk assessment. Organization usually calculate risk using a simple formula: risk equal likelihood multiply impact. If a system has both a high chance of attack and every high business impact, it becomes the highest priority for protection. This also helps define RTO and RPO values for critical systems. Third, training and exercises. The third preparation activity is training and exercises. Technology and alone cannot stop cyber attacks. Employees must also know how to respond correctly. Organizations provide different training for different departments. For example, the IT teams learns technical incident response process. The legal team understands regulatory requirements. The communication teams learns how to communicate with customer and media. Management learns how to make business decisions during a crisis. Organizations also perform tablet of exercises. A tablet of exercises is a practice session where a fake cyber attack is created. Every department discuss how they would respond. No real system are attacked. The goal is simply to test whether everyone understands their responsibilities. This exercise helps identify weakness before a real cyber incident occurs. For communication protocols, the final preparation step is communication protocols. Communication is one of the biggest challenges during a cyber incident. Imagine the company's email system has already been compromised. How will the incident response team communicate? This is why organizations prepare alternative communication channel in advance. For example, secure messaging platforms, emergency phone numbers, or dedicated incident response communication systems. Organizations also prepare notification templates before an incident occurs. If customer information is affected, the company should not spend hours writing emails during the emergency. Prepare, prepared templates help organization communicate quickly, accurately, and professionally. Good communication reduces confusion and protects customer confidence. Now that we have learned how organizations prepare for cyber incident, the next important question is who actually respond when a cyber attack happens. Many people believe that only the cybersecurity team handles cyber attacks, but in reality, incident response is the team effort. During a serious cyber incident, different departments work together. The security team investigates the attacks. The IT teams restore systems, the legal team check compliance requirements, the HR team handles employee related issues, the communication team manages customer and media communication. Senior management makes important business decisions. If even one department fails to perform its role properly, the entire response process becomes slower and less effective. That is why organizations build a dedicated incident response team before any cyber incident occurs. Now let's understand each point so on this slide. First, role-based structure. The first point is role-based structure. Every member of the incident response team has a predefined responsibilities. The most important person is the incident commander. The incident commander is responsible for leading the entire response operations. This person makes critical decisions, coordinates different teams, and ensures that everyone is working toward the same objective. The second important role is the incident response lead. The IR lead manages the technical investigation. They identify how the attacker entered, determine the scope of the incident, and guide the technical response. Another important role is the scribe. The scribe records every important action taken during the incident. The documentation becomes extremely valuable during forensic investigations, legal reviews, and future audits. Organizations also maintain 24 into 7 on-call teams. Cyber attacks can happen at any time during the day, at night, or even on public holidays. That is why security teams always have someone available to respond immediately. If the first responder cannot solve the problem, the incident is escalated to senior expert. This is called tiered escalation. Second, cross-functional coordination. The second point is cross-functional coordination. Cyber incidents affect the entire organization, not just the IT department. For example, the security team detects the attack, the IT operation team disconnects infected servers, the legal team determines whether regulators must be informed. The HR team manages internal employees communication if the incident involves insider activity. The communication team prepare official statement for a customer and the media. Senior management decide whether critical business service should remain online or be temporarily shut down. All of these departments must communicate continuously during the incident. If one department works indi- independently independently without informing others, response becomes uncoordinated. That is why organizations establish clear communication channel before an incident occurs. Third, clear accountability. The third point is clear accountability. During a cyber incident, every task must have an owner. If nobody knows who is responsible, valuable time is lost. Organization use the RACI matrix to clearly defines responsibilities. RACI stand for responsible, accountable, consulted, informed. Responsible means the person who performs the task. Accountable, the person who has final authority. Consulted, expert who provides advice. Inform, people who receive updates. Organization also defines SLAS or service legal agreement. An SLA specifics how quickly different tasks should be completed. For example, critical ransomware incident may require investigation within 15 minutes. High priority alerts may require management updates every 30 minutes. Having predefined timelines ensure that everyone respond quickly and consistently. For training and readiness, the final point is training and readiness. Building an incident response team is not enough. The team must practice regularly. Organization conduct tablet of exercise every few months. These are simulated cyber attacks in scenarios where team members discuss how they would respond. No real system are attacked. The goal is simply to verify that every team member understands their responsibilities. After every real incident or exercise, organization conduct a lesson learned meeting. During this meeting, they discuss what worked well, what problem occurred, which process need improvement, how can failure incident be handled better. Continuous improvement is one of the most important parts of incident response. Every incident should make the organization stronger than before. Now we are entering the third major phase of the incident response life cycle, which is detection and analysis. Until now, we have learned what cyber incidents are, how organizations prepare for them, and how incident response teams are organized. Now comes the most critical stage. An organization cannot respond to a cyber attack if it does not know that an attack has already happened. That is why detection is considered the heart of incident response. Today's attackers try to remain hidden for as long as possible. Instead of immediately damaging systems, they quickly steal passwords, explore the networks, collect sensitive information, and sometimes stay inside an organization environment for days or even weeks. The longer an attacker remains undetected, the greater the damage becomes. That is why organizations continuously monitor before their system to identify suspicious activities as early as possible. In this section, we will understand how cyber attacks are detected, how security teams identify suspicious behavior, how alerts are analyzed, and how investigators determine whether an alert is a real attack or simplify a false alarm. By the end of this section, you will understand how modern security operations centers detect cyber attacks in real time. Now let's begin with the first topic, detection and identification. Now let's understand how organizationally or organization actually detect a cyber attack. Cyber attacks usually do not begin with a big warning message. Most attacks begin silently and attacker may steal one password, log in from an unusual location, or slowly move from one computer to another without being noticed. That is why organizations continuously monitor their digital environment. The objective is simple, detect the attack as early as possible before major damage occurs. Now let's understand each point so on this slide. The first point is continuous first point is continuous monitoring. Organization monitor everything happening inside their environment. This include user logins, endpoints such as laptops and desktop servers, network, cloud platform, email systems, applications, identify service. Security tool work 24 hours a day. They continuously collect information and look for unusual activities. For example, if an employee normally logs in from Ahmedabad every morning and suddenly the same account logs in from another country just 5 minutes later, the system immediately considered it suspicious. Similarly, if one computer suddenly starts sending huge amount of data outside the company, secure monitoring tools immediately generate an alert. Continuous monitoring allows organization to detect attacks before they become large incidents. Behavior baselines. The next point is behavior baselines. Before identifying abnormal behavior, we first need to know what normal behavior looks like. This is called creating a baseline. For example, an employee normally logs in between 9 a.m. to and 6 p.m. They usually access HR applications. They normally downloaded only a few files each day. This becomes the employee's normal behavior. Now imagine this same employee account suddenly logs in at 2 a.m., accesses finance servers, and downloads thousands of confidential files. This system immediately recognizes that this behavior is different from the normal baseline. Behavior based detection is extremely effective against modern cyber attacks because attackers often use legitimate accounts. Fourth, rapid incident trials. The final point is rapid incident trial. Not every security alert becomes a cyber incident. Some alerts are harmless, some are critical. The security team's first responsibilities is to quickly determine the seriousness of the alert. Now that we have successfully detected a cyber incident, the next step is incident analysis. Detection tells us that something suspicious. Detection tells us that something suspicious has happened. Evidence collection and validation. Preserve, preserve logs, memory, disk, images, maintain chain of custody. Correlates timestamps, normalize time source NTP for accuracy. Second, root cause analysis. Map attack path, initial access, execution, persistence, filtration, identify control gaps, patching, MFA segmentation monitoring. Third, scope and impact assessment determine affected assets, identities, data types, and blast radius estimate the dwell time and lateral movement from temporary patterns. So- Fourth, forensic tooling and workflow. Use EDR SIEM queries to pivot across host, user, and IOCS. Apply tries first deep drive only one high severity indicates. Incident prioritization. Now that we have detected the incident and completed the analysis, the next question is which incident should we handle first? Every organization receives hundreds or even thousands of security alerts every day. But not every alert is equally dangerous. Some alerts are low risk, some are medium risk, some require immediate action because they can stop the entire business. This process of deciding which incident should receive immediate attention is called incident prioritization. Re- Now let us understand another very important concept in modern cybersecurity, which is called threat intelligence lifecycle. Think about this question: how do organizations know about new ransomware attack or newly discovered malware before they become victims? The answer is threat intelligence. Threat intelligence is the process of collecting, analyzing, and sharing information about cyber threats so that organization can prepare before attackers strike. Instead of waiting for an attack to happen, organization learn from attacks happening around the world. This helps them improve detection strength, security controls, and reduce future risks. Now let's understand each stage of the threat intelligence life cycle. In ingest external threat feeds, normalize and enrich indicators, operationalize in security tooling, share intelligence across teams, drive proactive defense measures. Containment and remediation. Containment strategy, containment objectives. The first objective is to stop the active compromise. If malware is spreading inside the network, we immediately isolate the infected system. If an employee's account has been hacked, we disable or lock that account. If an attacker is stealing data, we block that communication immediately. But while doing this, we must also preserve evidence because later our forensic investigation may require system logs, memory data, network traffic, hard disk images. If we delete everything immediately, we may lose valuable evidence about how to the attacker entered the system. Another objective is to protect the organization crowd jewel assets. These are the organization's most valuable digital assets. Recovery and lesson learned. Now we have reached the final stage of the incident response life cycle, which is called recovery and lesson learned. By this stage, the attacker has already been detected, contained, and completely removed. Now our responsibility is to safely restore all business service and make sure the same incident never happens again. This phase focus on restoring business operations, building customer confidence and improving cybersecurity for the future. Let's understand each part. Secure restoration from no good backups, reimage before reconnecting, reset secrets, reissue certificates, enforce least privilege, validate functionality, confirm integrity via ASIS, config baselines and scans, monitor for re-compromise using SIEM EDR for 24 to 72 hours. Lesson learned, run a post incident review within 5 business days, deliver CAPA actions, patching detection training runbooks. Recovery and lesson learned complete the incident responsible lifecycle. The major activity include restoring system using trusted backups, verifying that system are clean and fully functional, monitoring recover system for any new suspicious activities, conducting post incident reviews, implementing corrective and preventive actions, improving politics, security control, and employee awareness. Remember this important sentence. A successful recovery stored the business, a successful lesson learned strength the future. The complete incident response life cycle from preparation to detection to containment to eradication to recovery. Every phase is equally important. Ev- A strong incident response process not only minimizes damage but also helps organizations become more resilient against future cyber attacks. Thank you everyone for your valuable time and attention. I hope this session helped you understand how organizations respond to cyber incidents in the real world. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Any participant have any question? Please ask the sir. Hello, everybody can hear me? Sir, when a attack is happening, should we immediately shut down the infrared system to stop the threat or keep them running to save a function evidence?
Sorry, sir.
Sir, when attack is happening, should we immediately shut down the infrared system to stop threat or keep them running to save a forensic evidence?
Okay. Don't shut them down completely. Pulling the plug wipes out while volatile memory RAMs where active malware and encryption keys alive. Instead, isolate the system from the network. Unplug the network cable or block it at the firewall. This stops the attacks from spreading while perfectly preserving the evidence for forensics.
Thank you, sir. On behalf of AI core system and all the participants present today, I would like to express our deepest gratitude to Dr. Deep Shokin who delivering such a and a highly participant session. Your use a real world example and our highly interactive approach made to complex concepts inscrutable and valuable for everyone here. We truly appreciate the time, efforts, and sir, let's start the lecture. All the participants, please wait 2 minutes.
Hello everyone. Today we start to the real life example in cybersecurity. Recent cyber attacks, viral accident, impact, and lesson learned. Cybersecurity is not only about hackers sitting in dark rooms. It affects hospitals, airlines, universities, companies, students, customers, and even national security. Why cybersecurity matters today? Today, everything is connected to the internet. A single system failure can cascade into reaching millions of people. A cyber attack can halt hospital payments, cancel flight, leak student data, or shut down factory production lines. First of all, let's talk about personal data. Personal data is identities, records, and private information. What is the personal data? Personal data is first, and then next is bank account. Bank account is financial system and payment platform, and then hospital, patient records and critical care system, and then next is companies, operations, supply chains and revenue. Then next is government, public service and national security. So we'll understand that what happened and why it happened, the financial impact, what organization learned. So by the end of the day, is the I want audience questions. So let's talk about why cybersecurity matters today. First of all, is almost everything we use today connected to the internet, meant cloud storage, shopping website. They affect people lives. Imagine the situation: a hospital patient records become unavailable during emergency surgery. An airline cannot access its booking system. A bank payment gateway stop working. A university loses student examination records. A manufacturing company shut down production for several days. All of these are real situations that have happened because cyber accident. This high, this personal data is everyone personal today store information online. First of all is name, address, photos, identity documents, medical records. So all about this personal data. And then next is bank account. Bank account is almost everyone use online banking, UPI, credit cards, internet banking, mobile wallets. So if attackers compromise this system, millions of financial transaction can be affected. So then next is a hospital. Hospitals really heavily on digital system, patient history, medical reports, laboratory system, pharmacy management. If this system stop working, patient treatment can be delayed. Cybersecurity in health care literally save lives. And then next is companies. Business depended on it infrastructure, email, cloud store, employee system, customer data, manufacturing, supply chains. So this is a companies. Then next is government. Government is manage citizen data, tax system, password service, police record, electricity transformation, national security protection. This system is extremely important. The next is cloud platform. Today, many organizations no longer store data inside their offices. Instead, they use cloud platform like AWS, Microsoft Azure, and Google Cloud. If cloud accounts are compromised, huge amount of data may be exposed. Research institution, university and research labs develop valuable intellectual property. Their research can be worth millions of dollars. Cyber often large research organization. The next is critical infrastructure. Think about power plants, railway, water supply, airport, oil pipeline. If attacker compromise this system, millions of citizens could be affected. That's why cybersecurity is now considered a national security issue. Then let's talk about real life example. Imagine if the electricity of an entire city stopped for 2 days because hacker attacked the power grid. Would hospital function properly? Then next is would traffic signal work? Would ATM work? Probably not. That's why cybersecurity protected society, not just the computers. Then next is current cyber threat landscape. Cybercrime has changed dramatically over the past few years. 10 years ago, attackers mostly guessed password, installed simple virus, or defense website. Today, cyber criminals operate like professional companies. They have customer support, they sell hacking tool, they use artificial intelligence, they even offer ransomware as a service. Let's discuss some important statistics. Version DBIR statistic. According to version data breach investigation report, nearly one third of security breaches now being by exploiting software vulnerabilities. This means organization that daily software updated become easy target. Another important statistic show ransomware continues to be involved in a large share of modern breaches. This tells us ransomware remains one of the biggest cyber threat facing organization today. Then next is Morgan attack method. Let's understand it. Ransomware attackers encrypt all files. They demand money. The organization cannot access its own system. Imagine opening on your laptop tomorrow and even every file say your data has been encrypted. Pay $1 million. That is a ransomware. So then next is four important areas: IT system, protected servers, employee laptop, network, emails system, cloud platform, manufacturing system. Industrial machine also require cyber security. Factories now use cannot that can become targets. Supply network. Every vendor should follow cybersecurity standards. A weak supplier can become an attacker's entry point. Accident response. Every company should ask if we are attacked tomorrow, who respond, who communicates, how do we recover. Organization with tested accident response plan recover much faster. Let's talk the real life example. Think of cybersecurity like fire safety. Building don't install fire extinguisher because they expect a fire. They install them because they want to be prepared. Cybersecurity works exactly the same way. Preparation is always cheaper than recovery. The next is Jaguar Land Rover cyber attacks. Most of the use Marks Spencer and M&S. It is one of the largest retail companies in the United Kingdom, serving millions of customers through physical store online shopping. Your pick your pro reach billing counter, but the computer system is down. No payment, no billing, no online orders, no inventory updates. Everything comes to stand still. This is exactly what happened during the Mark Spencer cyber accident. The attack dis- disappointed online operation and several internal business systems. This accident reminds us that today's business don't only spell that depend heavily on technology. When technology stop, business stop. Let's talk the business impact. The company experienced online service delay, customer orders, financial losses, damage to customer confidence, increased recovery cost. Notice something interesting. Hackers didn't steal physical broadcast, they attacked digital system. Yet the financial loss was enormous. That show the true value of information system. Simple example, imagine Amazon website goes offline for one day, millions of customers cannot place order. Warehouse stop processing supplements, delivery companies have nothing to deliver, customer complaints increases, revenue drop every hour. One cyber accident attacks the entire business chain. The next is cyber security, business community. JLR teaches use that large companies are connected to much smaller. Every organization today depends on technology for its daily operation, email, customer databases, payment system, cloud service, manufacturing, and communication all rely on secure digital infrastructure. When a cyber attack occurs, it doesn't only affect computers, it can stop business operation, customer service, damage the company's reputation, and result is financial losses. This is why organizations invest in business continuity planning. Business continuity ensure that even during a cyber attack, initial business function continue operating with minimum dip- disruption. A strong cybersecurity strategy help organizations detect threats early, respond quickly, recover efficiently, and continue serving customer without major interpretation. In simple terms, cybersecurity protected not only data but also the entire business. Let's talk the real life examples. Imagine an online shopping company like Amazon. If hacker shut down its website for just one day, customer is not place a order. Okay. So, simple definition, cybersecurity plus business community keep the business running safely even even during cyber accident. So the next is case study, Mark Spencer cyber attack. Mark Spencer cyber attack. Marks and Spencer, one of the UK most recognized retailers, suffered a major cyber attack in 2025. This is a relatable example. Everyone understand online shopping. Imagine a company website, order system, delivery, network, and customer service all being affected simultaneously. So many customers could not place online order, and some orders were delayed or cancelled. The disruptions continue for several weeks, affecting customer experience and business performance. According to reports, the company estimate the cyber attack could reduce its operating profit by around $300 million. This show that a cyber attack can have a direct financial impact on our organization. One important lesson from the accident is that modern retail business depend completely on technology. Today, a retail company is not just a physical store. First is online shopping website, mobile application, payment gateway, inventory management system, warehouse management, delivery and logistics system. The last is customer support platform. If even one of these systems stop working, the entire business is affected. Let's talk the real life example. Imagine you order a mobile phone from an online shopping website. Okay, you make the payment successfully, but because the company's system are down, the warehouse cannot see your order. Then the delivery partner receive no shopping request, but and customer support cannot check your order status, even though the product is available, but you never receive it on time. Because this is exactly how a attack affect customers. It is not only a IT program, it become a business program. Real case study explanation. According to the dispersion at Marks and Spencer continue into 2025. Customer experienced problem with online shopping and click and collect service. That company had to focus on restoring system, supporting customer and recovery business operation. The estimated financial impact reached approximately $300 million, making it one of the most significant retail cyber accident of the year. The exact technical detail of the attack were not fully disclosed publicly, but the accident highlighted how dependent modern retail business are not digital infrastructure. Then next is key lesson. This case teaches us several important cybersecurity lessons. First is cybersecurity protect revenue. If online service stop, sales stop, no sale mean directly financial losses. Next is customer trust is valuable. Customers expect online service to work all the time. If they cannot place order or make payment, they may lose confidence and choose another retailer. Next one is business continuity is initial. Every organization should have first is backup system, second is disaster recovery plans, third is accident response plans, fourth is and last is tested recovery procedure. Fourth is every minute matters. The longer system remain unavailable, the generate the financial losses and customers distracted and fast and detection and quickly recovery reduce the overall impact. Closing statement. So the marks and cyber attacks teaches cybersecurity is not just about protecting computers. The next is retail cybersecurity in critical. So let's talk the retail cybersecurity is critical. In retail, even a few days of downtime can use huge financial loss. Cybersecurity is directly connected to customer trust and revenue. Retail companies most protected every touch point in the customer journey. For example, retailer use online shopping website, mobile shopping app, payment gateway, point of sale system, inventory management, warehouse management. Okay, but retail company also store huge amount of customer information such as the customer name, phone number, email ID address, home address, payment card details, purchase history. This data is extremely valuable to cyber criminal. If a hacker steals this information, they may commit identity theft, financial fraud, or sell the data on the dark web. Okay. Another reason cybersecurity is important is business continuity. Imagine a supermarket during a festival. Hundreds of customers are waiting to pay. Suddenly, the billing system crashes because of a cyber attack. Customer cannot make payment, employee cannot generate bill, the inventory cannot be updated, the store immediately start losing money. This is why cybersecurity is not just about protecting computers, it is about keeping the business running. Okay? So retail company is also depend on supplier and logistic partners. If a cyber attack affect the warehouse on delivery system, products cannot reach customer on time. This damage customer trust and the company's reputation. Let's talk to a real life example. Imagine you order a laptop from an online shopping website. Okay, your payment is successful, but but because the retailers system are under a cyber attack. First is your order is not processed. The warehouse cannot see your order. The company received no delivery request. Customer support cannot check your order status. The product is available, but technology failure it from reaching you. Okay. So key takeaway. Cybersecurity is in retail protected. Customer data, payment system, online shopping, platform, supply chain, operation, company reputation, business revenue. In today's digital world, is retail technology stop retail business stop? That is why cybersecurity is critical for every retail organization. The next one is crowdestical global IT outage. Okay. Many people believe that every cybersecurity accident happens because cyber criminals, but sometimes a small technical mistake can create a global crisis. That is exactly what happened during the CrowdStrike global IT outage in July 2024. Before understanding the accident, let's first understand what CrowdStrike is. CrowdStrike is one of the world leading cybersecurity companies. First is bank, airport, airlines, hospital, government agency, IT companies. What happened? On 19 July 2025, CrowdStrike, CrowdStrike released a security update for Windows system. Unfortunately, the update come a defect. As soon as organization installed the update, millions of Windows computer crashed. Instead of staring normally, but they displayed the famous blue screen of death, page OD. Employees around the world suddenly could not use their computers. The problem spread within hours because many organizations automatically install security updates. First is business impact. The outage affect organizations across many industries. For example, airlines cancel or delay thousands of flights. Second is hospital experienced dispersion in patient service. Third is bank faced customer operation. For this, retail companies had problem within billing system. With this, government office experience service delays. The last is television channel or media organization also faced technical issues. Let's talk the real life example. Imagine your school has 500 computers. Okay. One morning, the IT department install a software update on every computer. After restarting, but all 500 computers stop working. Teachers cannot take attendance. Students cannot access online exam. The administrators cannot print document. No hacker attacked the school, but because one of the faulty update, the entire school stopped functioning. That is exactly what happened on a global scale because the crowd strike outage affected organizations worldwide. Major airlines including the Delta Airlines, American Airlines, and United Airlines experienced significant distribution. Airport faced long because check-in system stopped working. Hospital delayed some non-emergency procedure. Bank and business also experienced service security engineering works continuously to remove the faculty, update and restore affected system. The accident became one of the largest IT outages in modern history. Why is this important for cybersecurity? This accident teaches us that cybersecurity is not only about protecting against hacker. It's also about software quality, change management, testing update, business continuity. Okay, even trusted security software must be tested before it is deployed to millions of computers. Key lesson. First is test every update. Never install software updates on every system immediately. Organization should first test update on a small number of computers. If nothing works currently, only should the update deploy across the organization. Second is have a rollback plan. What is a have a rollback plan? Plan is if an update cases problem, organization should immediately return to the previous version. This is called rollback plan. Without rollback plan, recovery become much more difficult. Okay. Third is business continuity planning. Organization should prepare for unexpected technology failures. Critical service should continue even if IT system fail because business continuity planning. Okay. Fourth is monitor every changes. Every software update should be monitored carefully after installation. If unusual behavior is detected, the updated should be stopped immediately. Simple analogy. Imagine a hospital change all its medical equipment software on the same day without testing it. If the software contains a bug, multiple machines may stop working at the same time. The hospital should test one machine first, verify everything is working, and then updated the remaining machine. Cybersecurity follow the same principle. Final conclusion. The CrowdStrike global outage teaches us that every cybersecurity accident is not caused by hackers. Sometimes a simple software error can disrupt business around the world. That is why organizations need proper testing, change management, rollback, business continuity planning. Okay. So this is the next is security tools also need self deployment. Security software has deep access inside system. So one bad updated can crash thousands of millions of machines. This accident reinforced the need for testing phase. First is testing before updates. Second is patch rollout. Third is backup system. Fourth is recovery plan. Fifth is vendor risk management. Sixth is manual emergency procedures. So this case study is change healthcare, one of the largest healthcare technology. Security is the everyday millions of Amen. Helps hospital and security software is deep access. What security tools could have reduced the impact of ransomware attacks? They use multiple layers of security. So EDR, and endpoint detection and response. Example, Microsoft Defender for endpoint, CrowdStrike, Falcon. If ransomware starts encryption files, ADR immediately detected behavior. It can automatically isolate the infect computers from the network before the ransomware spread. Simple well example. Okay, thank you.